All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are talking about something huge. I mean, one of the biggest goals humanity has ever set for itself. Net zero emissions by 2050. Sounds impossible, right? Well, the roadmap to get there might be a lot closer than you think. So, let's get into it.
I mean, think about it for a second. What if, instead of you having to go somewhere to learn about a cleaner future, what if that future could literally come to you? Like a classroom that could just roll up to your town, your school, and bring the answers right to your doorstep. Well, believe it or not, that's exactly what we're gonna look at first. It's this really cool, innovative idea for teaching people about the environment. And yeah, it's literally on wheels. Okay, check this out. It's called the Net Zero Future Pavilion. Back in 2023, the Tzu Chi Foundation did something amazing. They took a huge 40-foot shipping container and turned it into this incredible traveling exhibition. And this isn't your boring, stuffy museum tour. No way. The whole point is deep experience and happy learning. They use interactive games and cool digital stuff to make this big, complicated goal of net zero feel real, something you can touch. And honestly, they make it fun. And get this, the pavilion doesn't just talk about sustainability, it actually lives it. The whole thing is covered with 20 solar panels cranking out about 2 kilowatts of power. And it's got its own energy storage system too, so it's totally self-sufficient. It's a hub that's already practicing what it preaches before you even walk through the door. How cool is that? All right, so we've seen the messenger, this incredible classroom in a box. But now let's unpack the message. What is this whole 2050 net zero thing that this pavilion is trying to teach us all about? You know, at its heart, net zero is really just about one thing, balance. Picture a giant scale, right? On one side, you're piling on all the greenhouse gases we produce, from factories, cars, everything. And on the other side, you have all the gases we can pull out of the atmosphere. Net zero is that sweet spot, that perfect moment when the scale is totally balanced. It means we're not adding any more heat-trapping gases than we're taking away.
So why the big rush? Why is this so important? Well, it all comes down to this number, 1.5 degrees Celsius. The world's top climate scientists, the IPCC, they've made it crystal clear. We have to keep global warming from going past 1.5 degrees if we want to avoid the absolute worst effects of climate change. And to do that, well, their calculations show we have to hit net zero by 2050. That's not a suggestion, it's the deadline.
Okay, so how on earth do we actually do that? It's a huge task, and there's no single magic wand we can wave. The plan, which you'll see laid out by Taiwan and a lot of other countries, is really a roadmap built on 4 huge fundamental changes that have to happen everywhere in our society. So here they are, the 4 big pillars, and they're all connected. You've got the energy transition, that's all about cleaning up how we make electricity. Then the industry transition, reinventing how we manufacture stuff. After that, the lifestyle transition, and that one's on us. It's about our personal habits. And then, holding it all together is the social transition. Think of this as the groundwork, the policies, the education, the public buy-in to make all the other transitions actually happen. It's a total reboot of the system. And to see why we need all 4 of these, let's just look at the numbers. I've got a question for you. Think back to 2020. Out of every part of the economy, which single area do you think pumped out the most greenhouse gases? Go on, take a guess. And wow, the numbers don't lie. Industry. It was responsible for almost half of all emissions, almost 50%. That right there shows you why that industry transition is so incredibly crucial. And of course, transportation is a big chunk too, and you can see how it ties into everything else. The energy transition with electric cars, and the lifestyle transition with, how we decide to get from A to B. So you can really see how this all fits together, right? On the one hand, you've got these huge, big picture changes. That's the energy transition. We're talking giant solar farms, massive wind turbines, new tech like hydrogen. That's the macro level. But then you have the micro level, the lifestyle transition. That's your daily choices, the decision to walk instead of taking the car, thinking about what food you buy, changing what you consume. You need both. They have to work together. All those small personal changes are what create the momentum for the massive shifts we need in our industries and our entire society. Okay, but remember that scale we talked about? Just reducing the stuff we're putting on one side isn't enough. To really get it to balance, we also have to get way better at taking carbon off the other side, actively removing it from the atmosphere. So let's dive into how that works.
The planet, it turns out, is already a genius at this. It has these amazing natural systems called carbon sinks. Forests, oceans, even the dirt under our feet, they're like giant natural sponges for carbon. I mean, a tree is literally built out of carbon it's sucked out of the air. It's incredible.
These natural systems are absolutely our best friends in this fight.
But here's the big question for our future. Can we give nature a helping hand? Can we actually build technology that does the same thing? Engineer our own carbon sinks to speed things up, especially for those industries that are just super hard to clean up?
Well, the answer is yes, and the technology is called CCUS. That stands for Carbon Capture, Utilization, and Storage. It sounds complicated, but it's basically a four-step process. Step 1, capture. You use special filters to trap CO2 right at the source, like a smokestack. Step 2, transport. You move that captured CO2 in pipelines or on trucks. Step 3, utilize. This is cool. You can actually turn it into useful stuff, like dry ice or even the bubbles in your soda. And step 4, the big one for long-term removal, store. You inject that CO2 deep underground into secure rock formations. You're basically taking the carbon and putting it right back where it came from.
Okay, so we've talked about some really big ideas, right? From high-tech carbon capture to classrooms in a shipping container. And it can all feel a little distant. But the path to 2050 isn't just about big tech. It's also paved with millions of small, everyday choices. And that's where you come in. This is where we realize just how much power we all have. Let me throw a stat at you. Did you know that food waste, just the food we throw away, is responsible for about 10% of all global carbon emissions? 10%! So choosing more plant-based meals or just being mindful and wasting less food, that's a powerful climate action right there. And it's the same with hopping on a bike instead of getting in the car, or looking for that eco label when you buy a new appliance. Even just thinking differently, choosing to rent or share something instead of buying it. Every single one of those little things, they all add up and fuel that lifestyle transition we were talking about.
So in the end, getting to net zero by 2050, it isn't about finding one silver bullet. It's about a silver buckshot. It's everything, all at once. It's the high-tech stuff, and it's what you decide to have for dinner tonight. The roadmap is there. We can see the path. But where we end up, that's on all of us. The future really isn't written yet. So the only question left is, what page are you going to write?